Ma'am, session is live, ma'am.
So can I proceed?
Sir, there will be a formal inaugural, sir. Yes, ma'am. Gayatri, ma'am.
Sir, okay, sir. A very pleasant good afternoon to one and all gathered here. I am welcoming you all on behalf of the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering as a part of Nadar Saraswathi College of Engineering and Technology, Theni. Thank you for joining the guest lecture on opportunities in automobile industry for electrical engineers. Once again, I welcoming you all for the wonderful guest lecture. Students, if you have any queries, post in chat box. Now, I would like to welcome Mrs. K. Malar, Assistant Professor of EEE Department, to deliver the welcome address.
Good afternoon to one and all gathered here. I feel pleasure in delivering the welcome address for the guest lecture on opportunities in automobile industry for electric. I also welcome our Vice President, Training and Placement Officer, heads of various departments, teaching and non-teaching faculty, and my dear students. I think it's a great honor to welcome and thank the chief guest of today's event, Krishna Kumar, Electrical Manager at FCA Engineering Private Limited. I welcome you, sir. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Leadership is not a position or a title, it's an action and an example. Now, I would like to welcome such an encouraging person, Dr. C. Madalai Sundaram, sir, Principal of our college, to deliver the felicitation address. Sir?
Ma'am, 1 second, ma'am. Sir, your voice is muted, sir.
Okay, so let me come back for 1 second. So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm very happy to be here to felicitate this one-day guest lecture on opportunities in automobile industry for electrical engineers. First, let me thank our Secretary, Mr. K.S. Kasi Prabhu, and Joint Secretary, Mr. Rajkumar sir, for permitting this program through this online mode. Let me happy to welcome Mr. K. Krishna Kumar, Electrical Manager, Fiat Chrysler Automobile Engineering India Private Limited. He is going to deliver in the title the opportunities in automobile industry for electrical engineers. He's an industrial personality. He's having a wide experience industry. He's an electrical graduate, electrical and electronics engineer. He has an MBA management also. By seeing this, his file is having wide exposure in the field of automobile, and is very suitable for the title too. Let me thank Mr. Arivalakan, head of the department of who bring Mr. Krishna Kumar for this guest lecture. Let me also thank the Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering faculties, and then all the students participants going to benefit the guest lecture. Students make use of the guest lecture. It's a wonderful, wonderful title. The automobile field, it is continuously developing, and there are a lot of new innovation, new technologies are coming day by day. You can see this happening in the automobile field. So it's a wonderful thing. You can get a lot of ideas, and whatever the doubts you are having, you can ask and clear through the Krishna Kumar sir, or else you post in the chat box. You can clear all your doubts after delivering his session. After his session, you can clear all your doubts. So make use of the session, students. Let me thank the Department of EEE once again, and the Krishna Kumar, electrical manager too. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for handling the session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Before handing the session to our chief guest, Mr. K. Krishna Kumar, I am profusely overjoyed to take the opportunity to introduce him. He is working as an electrical manager at Fiat, Chrysler Automobiles Engineering India Private Limited for past 11 years. Coming to his educational qualification, he completed his bachelor degree at St. Joseph College of Engineering in the Department of EEE. He also done his post-graduation in MBA at Anna University, Chennai. He started his career as a software engineer at Infosys Technology Solutions. Then he joined as an electrical engineer at FCA Electrical Engineering Group and promoted to various roles, now with the current role of global lead for wiring components provisionals under electrical engineering, power and signal distribution group at FCA. He also lead 17 resources who handle 5 different projects for different regions like NAFTA, EMEA, AATAM. Now, let me take privilege in welcoming our guest, Mr. K. Krishna Kumar, to deliver his address to the gathering. We welcome you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. And it's a wonderful opportunity for me to get connected with the current engineers who are preparing and who have been studying and coming out from the college, right, from the third year and fourth year, and I believe the first year students have also been joined. So giving this platform and giving this opportunity, I think I need to thank Mr. Arivalagan to get me connected for this particular opportunity. So he is part of the electrical HOD, and he approached through one of my colleague. So it was a wonderful opportunity. And regarding this college, I've heard about it earlier, and many youngsters have been coming out of with a lot of projects. That's what when I spoke to Mr. Arivalagan. So it's a wonderful opportunity for me to connect it with all the students, and I thank the management for coordinating, principal sir, all the staff, supporting staffs, and my dear students. So let me start the session. This topic is maybe generic, but this is a lot of information which, as a college student, there are certain things you would be missing. So opportunities in automotive industry for electrical electronics engineer, there is a lot of scope when you're coming out of college, and that's what I'm going to guide through this particular session, how well you could be equipped and what are the different departments, because I have also completed as a fresher. I went to the, you would have heard about me getting into the software field and then coming into the core area. So there are a lot of differences which I would like to address it. But when it comes to the automotive industry, so the main departments and how it has been placed and what are the technologies, I think one of the person already mentioned, there are a lot of trending technologies in the automotive industry, and especially for the electrical electronics, there is a plenty of opportunities. Okay, so let's go in detail, and please note down my email and mobile number. If any clarification or any doubts, you can reach me out. Okay, with that, I'll get into the session. Hope you are able to see my screen.
No, sir. Your screen is not visible.
Is it? let me know once you are able to see my screen.
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
Let me make it into the presentation mode. Is it visible now? Okay, so let me get into the session. So here, when you talk about the automotive industry, there are different departments which you guys need to understand. There is a short term, okay? We used to call this as BICEP. So body, interior, chassis, electrical, engine system, and powertrain. These are the major departments within the automotive industry, and the architecture is a core for this particular any vehicle that is coming out of the automotive industry. It is based on the architecture. So today, if you talk about the upcoming architecture, each company, each OEM, okay, I'm bringing in new terms. In the last slide, I've captured the details. I'll share this presentation also to the management. So OEM is nothing but the original equipment manufacturer. Okay, so this particular OEM is where I belong to. So I work for a OEM called Fiat Chrysler Automotive. You would have heard about Mercedes. So these are all OEMs example. So they used to have a basic thing called the architecture. With that, they will start their activity or any new coming vehicle or any electrical vehicle. The architecture is a base for everything. And connecting between all these groups are this body, interior, chassis, powertrain, and electrical combines, interacts with all this group and the engine system. Okay, so that's where I've captured this slide where it shows the clarity. So when you get into the automotive industry, you will be part of the electrical where you will be interacting with all these groups. It's not only you sit with the electrical, you develop something and you implement it into the car. It's not that way. So interaction, communication, and in the architecture is a base where you will be get connected. Okay, so let me move to the next slide. You can note down your queries, and at the last session, I'll answer to your queries. Okay. So automotive electronics introduction. So here, if you could see, within the electrical vehicle or even in a current vehicle, there are major components, right? That for which an electrical engineer needs to work. The knowledge, the core knowledge, whatever you are learning today, it is going to be useful in this field. Where we are going to use it, that is what the slide captures for. So any car, if you take, there is going to be a starter motor, there is going to be an alternator, batteries, and the wiring harness. Wiring harness is an important factor where it is a nervous system of the automobile. So just like how the human body runs, so the connection for all the components to function, okay, you bring in any today's smart technology that is going to be connected, through the wiring harness. So our part of an electrical engineer getting into this particular thing is much needed, and this group of electrical electronics is a bigger area in the automotive industry. And when you are more related, okay, electrical is a little bit core, and now you come into the electronics. In that side also, there is a lot of opportunities. So when I say there has been a lot of infotainment system, today the car is more related for entertainment. The driver is just like driving a vehicle, and for that also the industry is coming up with autonomous driving. Okay, and for the entertainment factor, the passengers who are sitting inside the car, there has been a lot of features. You would have seen a vehicle where the display, each passenger has a separate display, and they used to listen to their music or watch their videos. Today's trend of vehicles are moving that way. So traveling in a vehicle is more fun for them, and the connection. When you talk about the other countries, okay, the main travel they used to do is through the car. Okay, based on my experience, I'm sharing this. Okay, so and a lot of innovations have been brought up, and technologies have been brought up. The smart technologies in the platform where the electronics come into the picture. Okay, and the other system is safety systems. So that is also one of the important factor to be considered, and there also the electrical lies a major part. Okay, I'll go through the session. Yeah. So I was talking about the architecture, right? So how this architecture is important and how it plays a major role in the vehicle. So I provided just an image where it shows how the electrical components and how it is being connected in a schematic, in a what to say, in a transparent view. If you could see a vehicle, a car, lot of components that is being placed. Okay. So, and it has been segregated for the architecture based on the energy components, driver assistance, electrical electronics, infotainment, okay, and the other related is power and signal distribution. So PASD, that's a short form, and this power and signal distribution is one of the important area where I have been associated. Okay, and electrical powertrain, security, safety, cabin. So this is how it has been segregated, and based on which there have been lot of engineers develop their new technologies, work on this component. Okay, and to build a vehicle, it is not like it is built by like 100 people or something. It is like thousands of people who work on building a car and manufacturing these components, and a lot of scopes where the validation is also one of the important factors. So as a student, you might be interested in design. As a student, you might be interested in writing softwares. Maybe you are interested in testing or validation. You could go through, you could pick your area and have your skills developed during your studies during this 4 years. Okay, so that is going to be a key area when you are coming up, when you are passing out of the college or before getting placed. This is, if you develop a key skills in this particular area, and if you focus, you could pick your job on what you want to work. Okay, so that is going to be a key area, which many people might be not aware about it today, but after this session you should start thinking about it, start exploring about it. Okay, where do we want to work for the next 30 years or 40 years, how we want to get associated, and you could pick your choice into the automotive industry based on developing a special skills. That is what I'm going to give in the next upcoming sessions also. Hope you are clear with the architecture. So I'll move to the next one. So in today's trend of electrical vehicle or in the automotive industry, it is getting advanced towards autonomous vehicle. And many OEMs, as I mentioned, OEMs are nothing but the original manufacturing equipment. These companies are developing towards developing the autonomous vehicle. And not only they develop by themselves, they combine with the technologies. They combine with the automotive industry getting connected with the Google or through Apple. They have been, different companies have been associated and developing and trying to work towards autonomous vehicle. And few companies have today, when we are talking, there are certain companies who have already built a vehicle where it is autonomous in a closed circle. Okay, so all this testing and validation, that is what is happening today. They wanted to make it safety. Safety is one of the factor when it comes to the autonomous, and when it comes to the public environment, they want to make sure all the sensors, all this components that has been fitted into the automotive have been working and finally and have been tested, and which has been safety for the passenger as well as for the people who is on the road. Okay, so that is where today the trend has been working, and I'm sure that in a couple of years we are going to see this in reality in many of the countries. Okay, and that's what we have been trying to reach here. As I mentioned, today what is available in the technology? The technology in automotive, like parallel parking of vehicle, you just come to a location and customer want everything to be automated. That's where the automotive industry is also traveling. Okay, today. So developing a feature which would be helpful for the customer. You would see a 360-degree camera where you sit in a vehicle, and that feature is available in India and Indian market also. So where how this is being getting developed? It is all developed by the electrical engineers. Okay, all this testing, development, just like a software industry, there have been plenty of opportunities in this particular area. You could work on innovation projects during your college particular time. And if you take this as a topic and work towards it, you are getting placed into these kind of automotive industry is in very much near, I would say. It is all based on the interest that you are going to show towards. And when it comes to the technology, these kind of a button the customer wants, it would be a nice future, right? You sit, you come to a parking location and just you click a button where the vehicle automatically goes and parks it into the location. Okay, and all this is possible through the sensors, all this is possible through the validation done by the engineers, electrical engineers, and based on the development that has been happening in the automotive industry. So there are plenty of opportunities, as I mentioned earlier. So you need to pick your area where you want to get aligned. Okay, you want to be designing a component, you want to design something, or you want to work as a software related thing, or you want to work as an electronic side. You can choose and develop your skills related to it. There are many tools, many courses which you could do other than what you are studying through your curriculum. Okay, curriculum is one part where that is going to help you come to a picture where you are eligible to attend an interview. Or as I've been working as a manager, and I have hired many people, okay, many resources. And when an engineer comes, the knowledge which we see, okay, and the comparison, we could easily do a comparison like 10 years back how the engineer was, like 15 years back how he was, and today's engineer how they are. The curriculum is that way. Okay, so you need to be more unique when it comes to the interview side. So we can come to that session little later. But today the advanced driving assistance system is one of the key area where many people have been working, many engineers have been working, many automotive industry is spending a lot of amount on these kind of innovations and make sure these features are working without any trouble. As I mentioned, there have been many trials.
Sir, your voice is muted, sir.
Is it now audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, as I was talking about different OEMs, like Audi is one of the brand, okay, BMW, they have been working in autonomous vehicle. There are 5 different stages. I'm not going deep on these topics because these are something that if you go, you need to have lot of understanding on these topics. But I'm just giving a overview how the industry is traveling and where the opportunities in this electrical side. So when you talk about the autonomous, there are like 5 different levels. And today, many of the companies are like only level 2 or level 3. That is what even my company, where I've been working, it has been associated with all these group of companies, and they have been traveling to achieve this autonomous vehicle. So it is very much important, and there is a lot of scope. If you have this vision, traveling, working on these kind of activities, just start preparing, understand. Lot of materials are available in the Google. Okay, so you can YouTube, you can YouTube and search how these features are working, and you can at least develop certain area of interest towards this topic, which is going to be helpful. And again and again mentioning that this will make extra effort from you, will make you unique when you are going for a job interview. Okay, when you talk about automotive industry, when you are attending an interview in this particular company, and if you are able to talk on these topics, it is a plus point for you guys, right? Because any OEM, any fresher which they are going to take, they are going to have a training plan, and then only they are going to make you work. But if you have already shown this interest and if you develop this unique skills with you, it is going to be helpful. That is my point here. So many companies have been tied up with Apple as a technology, and like for example, a Ford a company. These companies collaborate and develop this autonomous as well as with working on high voltage cars. So let me move to the next slide. Yeah. So as I mentioned, the wiring harness is like a nervous system inside the vehicle. There have been lot of OEMs, lot of tier 1, tier 2 suppliers. These are maybe new terms for you, but I'll give a little bit. The OEMs design the vehicle, okay, but make a vehicle coming to the picture, coming into the vehicle build is through the help of the suppliers. So the suppliers are like tremendous suppliers. You would have maybe participated in the auto shows, right? So the suppliers telecast, they come up with the development, they come up with the innovation, and they come up saying that, okay, they come to reach to the OEM saying that we have developed a new feature. You want to test and implement this into the automotive? That is how a lot of features have been coming into the picture, right? So it is not only the automotive vehicle, automotive companies where you could get opportunities. There are a lot of suppliers who have been supporting these kind of components for the vehicle, right? You say a sensor, okay, for the autonomous vehicle. So it is developed by one of the suppliers. The sensors are not developed by the companies, right? So when you talk about a connector is a small component in the wiring harness. Each connector gets connected to the component, then only the functions work. And you know that the vehicle, the component size should be small, optimizing the size. Lot of benchmarking activities are happening between the OEMs. So I'm giving new terms, but these are something that a lot of opportunities are there. If you want to compare two vehicles, okay, and then work, there is opportunities in the benchmarking side, right? So those are opportunities where you could work and you could compare the vehicle and you can bring, okay, it will be a cost saving for us wherever the company that you are working. And if you're going to provide ideas, this is what going to take you into a different level and brings you as a unique person. Learning never stops after your college or other things. Even today, there is a lot of trends and lot of things for which I need to work towards, and I need to work towards in updating my skills for the current OEM. Because today the trend is like high voltage cars, okay, the battery operated cars, for which a lot of these connectors are getting updated, right? We have to make sure instead of the engine, there is going to be a battery, right? So all these are positive for the electrical engineers. That is my point here, okay? When you take about the other departments, maybe whatever the activity they were doing like 5 years back or whatever they are doing it today, maybe 10 years down the line, they may not be able to get opportunities. But as an electrical engineer, your scope of activity, your scope of working, getting opportunities, it has been very much evident. Only thing is, until you develop a skill, okay, there have been many colleges, many engineers coming out of the in today's situation. So how far you are different, and getting knowledge about these components, getting the suppliers, you have to reach out. It is not only you attend a campus interview, it is not only left out with the management. If you are interested, you could prepare until your 4th year, develop your skills, apply the update your resume, develop your skills, and update it directly to the companies. You could submit your profiles directly to the companies, and companies, if they have opportunities, they will be looking into your profile. If it looks good, if it is unique, and if it is a skillful person, they will look into yours. So the opportunity is something that you have to knock your door, okay? That is a key point here. And this particular thing is key, and that's where I have been related to the connector, selection of a connector, selection of a wire, how to make this connector, if the connector is getting exposed to the outside environment, what type of connector we need to select, okay? And the wire size, maybe we need to select the cross section of the wire. So can we, there are challenges that the vehicle weight is getting higher. So can we reduce the weight of the vehicle by reducing the wire sizes? Because these are key areas where if there is a connector, okay, which is like a very big connector, and if you are able to design something which is very small and it can also do the same purpose, it is an opportunity, right? So these are key areas where you could get connected with the suppliers, or you can even work with the OEMs, and there are plenty of opportunities. It is not only connectors, then it comes to the wire, then it comes to the protection. So lot of factors, lot of areas to build a vehicle. As I mentioned, like thousands of engineers have been working to come up with a vehicle today. Okay, so that is something that you guys need to understand and work towards it. The other area where I wanted to talk is, okay, designing is one area. The other area related to development of softwares. Okay, all these things are like development. How about the validation? Today, as a person, as a driver, as a customer, you want a lot many features upfront. You want to know the mileage. You want to connect your phone easily, okay, through the smartphones into the radio system. And today, if you talk about the recent auto show that happened in China, was really amazing. Based on the feedback that I have received from my colleagues and the presentation I have received, the you would have seen it, the full cluster, right? The cabin area, it is with radio screens, like 4 different radio screens have been there. The first one is for the driver, second one is for the passenger, and all these buttons have now moved out. It is like just like a touch screen, right? So working on these features, so the automotive industry is going somewhere where it is working towards the need of the customer, right? So these kind of validation, this feature, one particular feature, if it is not working, the customer might face a difficulty, right? You set a speed of the AC, okay, and you want that to be a cooling effect, okay, and you know that in certain countries where they're not using ACs, they are using the heater. For instance, based on my experience, during the December till March, it has been very cold, and Detroit, where in US, it is like snowing and the temperature is minus 23. I have my own case where once you get into the car, you want to catch hold of the steering, it should be hot, okay, and you want to control everything through a button, and if that feature is not working correctly, how the customer is going to feel? The outside temperature is cool, inside the temperature is also sometimes. The today's car are very much smart, where before getting into the car you could switch on your car, ignition your car, and set the temperature to warm temperature. So this is all practical today, okay, and all these features should work, and that is where testing and validation of whatever your development is one of the key area. And the ratings for any particular car is all based on the functions correctly being working and the feedback from the customer, right? So validation, testing, and software related, these are another areas where a lot of opportunities have been placed, where you guys need to work and develop skills related to this also. Okay. Yeah. So coming back, I'm coming to my end of the session. Okay. So when I talked about the tools, the design environment, okay, I was talking about the PLM tools. PLM tools are nothing but a complete life cycle of management, where you design a, let's say, a connector or a bracket, or you are designing a motor, any function, any particular thing. There is a lot of process where it gets coming into the picture, where you need to release a first draft, then it goes as a second draft. All these things have been saved in the product life cycle. Okay, a designer develops a bracket, a designer develops a connector design, or even he develops any particular related component for the vehicle. This would be going through the design phases, and they will be releasing. And the other coordinator, for example, you are an electrical engineer, you are designing, and you need to work with the other BICEP I mentioned, right? Body group, interior group, chassis group, engine system group, and powertrain group, to make sure your component, whatever you are developing, is not giving obstacle to the other groups. And for example, electrical components, you would know that there have been many kind of interference. There should be some kind of a guidelines which the automotive industry follows. You need to have a particular component placed in this location so that the the interference does not happen on the other side of the component. You cannot place an energy component close to another heat source. So a lot of factors have been there, and for which this PLM tools, you could develop your skills. There are many training materials available in the YouTube, or even you can get along with any coaching centers where you can develop on these tools also. So the next one is the Team Center, Innovia. These are the examples related to the PLM tools. When it comes to the CAD tools, right? Most probably in the electrical syllabus, based on my understanding, based on my previous syllabus, I'm saying that we are not used to this CAD tools much. As a mechanical engineer, if you take, they learn and it is part of their syllabus based on my understanding. So it's not something electrical engineer should not know it, but electrical engineer can concentrate on CAD electrical routing. So routing of wires. So I was mentioning, right, a new component is being developed and that is coming towards the driver side. Okay, and it is giving an obstacle where you're not able to route your vehicle. So the electrical engineer works along with the design engineer saying that, okay, can we split the wire? Can we take this routing path? Is there any obstacle? You will be working towards a solution for any problem. So this is where the electrical routing is a key important factor, where it is getting connected to end of the vehicle. Okay, you will have a knowledge about end of the vehicle connection systems. Okay, from the front system, how the fuel system, all this click of a button, it is getting operated. For this click of button, the electrical connections have been made with connectors, and for which a selection of a connector is based on the electrical engineer selects it. Okay, so this is where you need to develop your skills. You could develop any of the skills, because this unigraphic, these tools, if you develop one skill in one particular tool, the features names might be a little bit different in other particular tool, but the idea behind developing the design and the key buttons, right? You use a Microsoft, you use other system where the functions are a little bit same, but the key buttons are a little bit different, same way only. So it doesn't matter which tool you develop, but developing this, having a skill set in this particular one will be helpful and make your profile a unique case. That is an important factor. When a interviewer is going to look into it, your profile, okay, you are saying that you are interested in automobile. Okay, so what have you done in this particular period? Okay, either you have developed the skills, either you have done some certification towards it. These are going to be very much handy. And the one information which I would say is, be strong on your basics. Our motor runs, our alternator runs. So basic things, if you're not strong in that, that is not going to be helpful. So basic knowledge about how the electrical functionalities, if you're strong in that, that is going to be helpful in even selection of a wire and placing a component. So is there going to be any interference or any other radiations? So those kind of things you will be having a fair idea as an electrical engineer. Okay, and there have been been happening, and lot of courses that is coming towards automation, autonomous, and UA user, and selecting for high voltage related thing. Because today the trend, in another 5 years, you will be seeing more battery operated cars in the road. Okay, and when it comes to the region, I have been traveled for my work to US. Detroit is called the auto hub of automotive industry, and Chennai is the automotive hub of India. Okay, there is a connection. There are many OEMs, Chrysler, Ford, GM, the headquarters or the main company manufacturing are part of the US. Okay, and these companies have stationed here in India and having a plant, and a lot of vehicles have been running. Okay, so there are a lot of opportunities, and for me, I've been blessed. I have traveled that exposure, what happens in different region. So when it goes to the NAFTA is nothing but North American Free Trade Agreement. So in this NAFTA, US, Canada, Mexico are part of it. EMEA is nothing but Europe region. LATAM is nothing but where the Brazil and the Latin American countries have been. APAC is nothing but Asia Pacific, where we have been India, China, Australia, where our regions have been specified as a region. So these terms are maybe new for you guys, but these are something that today in this technology, you should be going beyond the countries, beyond the India. You should not only think of working in India, you should think of working in different countries. The technologies, the opportunities have been plentiful. Okay, and I'm just giving you an example. An engineer who has completed electrical in India is been aggregated as in US as an engineer, but a person, based on my experience, I'm saying a Romania person who has completed an engineer there in Romania country is not considered as a equivalent to an engineer as a India. His degree has been considered as a diploma. Okay, our standards of education has been, our curriculum has been in par with the globe. You have to do justice going through all this thing, having a basic strong and working towards innovation projects. This is going to be a key for you guys, and if you do that, there have been plenty of opportunities, as I mentioned again and again. And so you could get along with opportunities in India as well as with other regions. Okay, so with that, I'm just concluding my speech on the topic on opportunities, and we can go for the questions. If anything that you are not clear, and if you want to talk in Tamil, I'm okay to it. Okay, I have been born and brought up from Chennai, and I can help you with any kind of answers. Sorry, is anyone having any query? Not able to hear it clearly.
Students, you can post your queries in the chat box if you have any. Sir, one people have asked a question. Please say about 3D car.
3D car. Okay, 3D CAD. Okay, so it is based on the previous one. So we are designing a car in the 3D environment. 3D is nothing but you develop a design component, okay, in the 3D environment, where you will do all your design modifications in the visual environment. And this visual environment, let's say a small bracket or a small connector, okay, you could design that in the 3D environment through these tools. These tools I mentioned, like Unigraphics, uh, it's a tool from Siemens. CATIA is from Dassault. AutoCAD or SolidWorks, these are the design CAD tools as a computer aided design. That is what the CAD technology. And you could design this, and before getting into the real world, there are certain technologies today. You design, you click the button, it will be creating a SLA model. SLA model is like a sample model. You could design and see if this particular component can package into your requirement. Whether your design is correct or not for the real world, you will be doing this in the 3D environment. As I mentioned, 3D is designing of the component. 2D is like a 2D drawing. Okay, the development stage of in the automotive environment is you develop something, you design something, and then you create the specifications. Okay, this particular dimension, you provide this particular dimension and the 3D data to a supplier. The supplier will check the feasibility. Okay, he is going to develop a tool to build this particular component. So he is going to do this particular tooling environment. He will do his study, and then he will get back to us saying that whether this component can be built or if any minor changes is needed. If any minor changes is needed, we come back, do the design change, and these are anything that you design. Okay, you could rotate and see, right, as a 3D. I'm not able to show you this image right now, but you could do all those things, and the testing, okay, computer aided design is one of the things. CAE is another, where the validation analysis is being done. Okay, that is through a mechanical engineer. He will take our design and do all the, whether this component exposed to the water or any stress if it is implied, whether this component can withstand the requirement of functional or not. That is being done in the 3D, or done it in the visual in our computer screen. Okay, and then we would do a 3D mold kind of a thing. Okay, so then we see that, okay, all these specifications are meeting our requirement. Then we would go to the real tooling and manufacturing of this component. Hope I answered, or still we have any questions?
Sir, thank you, sir. One more question, sir.
Yes.
How Could you
I'm not
please
able to.
explain this in detail?
Sorry, I lost you. Can you repeat the question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How electrical is related to automobile? Could you please explain this in detail?
Electrical and automobile is, that is what we have gone through all these things, right? Today, without a battery, the car is not going to run, right? Basic thing, okay? And the motors, transmission. So you guys have been working in all these. You have been learning in your curriculum, okay? When a power is needed, right? The battery, the PDC is power control module, okay? The PDC is one of the important area. It distributes the power to the different components. So electrical, without electrical, the car is not happening today, running today, and even in the future, it is very much clear that we are going to work on battery electrical vehicle, BEV, BEV, battery electrical vehicle. And there are many terms today I could say, which is called like PHEV. Okay, so PHEV, like it is like I electrical vehicle, and MEV, mild electrical vehicle. So all these are related to the electrical side. Okay, and if your interest is towards code, okay, battery, motors, and starter motors, alternators, if your area of interest is towards that, concentrate on this, do your projects related to it, and you will be utilizing it. And if your area of interest is towards electronics, as I mentioned, there is a lot of scopes in today's smart vehicle. Okay, I would say like smartphone. It is like a smart vehicle in today's thing. So electrical is, without electrical, as I mentioned in my first slide when I explained, body, interior, chassis, okay, engine system, these are departments, okay, and you have a body, you design a exterior. Without that, you are not able to run a vehicle, right? All these things have been connected, and through the battery and the power signal distribution, the car completes as a picture. As an electrical department, without us, the car is not functional. So we play a major role, and we interact with all other groups to get an automotive vehicle coming up.
So thank you for reply, sir. One more query from the student side. Why RD is most popular and more money?
Yeah. So when you talk about RD, okay, they use premium segment of technologies. Okay. Let's say one component is there. I'm just giving it as a, it is not an offense on the companies. Okay. You develop a vehicle based on your customer. Certain vehicles are built based on the customer need. Okay. Today in India, the population are looking for a budget vehicle. But there are customers who look for a car which can do lot of things, and it is in the premium quality. Obviously, the Audi works on the premium side, and they try to have the best in class equipments into their vehicle. So obviously the cost is very high, okay, and they do not build, like, the volumes of the vehicle are being very less. They are not building the Audi. If you take account in India itself, how many vehicles you could do the overall calculation on how many vehicles of Audi running in India when compared to the Maruti Suzuki or Hyundai, right? The customer base, the components base, when you build a very less number of components, when you manufacture, the cost involved is more. Okay, so that's why they work for the premium customers, and they work as a technology. They try to come up with latest technology. As I mentioned, right, any supplier, it is not about RD developing a new thing. A supplier, or you work for a company, you develop some new innovation technology, and you go and present to this particular company, and to implement that particular innovation, it is going to be involved with lot of cost, and these companies spend on lot of innovation, lot of cost. That is why the price, as well as the premium and safety. You take a vehicle, a budget vehicle, the airbags, number of airbags are only 2 to fulfill the basic criteria of a safety standard from India. I'm just giving a real time example. If you take a Audi car, it has got more than 12 airbags, the safety wise. So there is always a difference, and for each airbag there is a price. So that is the reason behind the price also. And features, in a budget car, your main primary purpose is to travel from one distance to another distance with the basic needs. When you go for these kind of vehicle, it is going to give you. I talked about the infotainment, right? A passenger sitting at the back side, behind the front seat driver or the passenger, there is going to be a small screen, right? For all this, there is a cost involved, and features, that is why the price has been equally been proportional.
Thank you, sir. One question from a student called Nivedita. Sir, in scope, we gone through battery cars, then the scope of mechanical engineer will be decreased. Your suggestion?
I'm sorry. Okay, so based on your words, what I understood from this question is the scope for the future is advantages for electrical. This is what the term I use. And for mechanical engineers, still there is going to be a lot of activities. As I mentioned, the core for today's or in the future, we are going to work on the battery vehicles, and definitely the electrical engineering scope is going to be there. But for mechanical engineers, the scope will not reduce, but they would also have challenges in building up a very strong exterior, interior. So lot of things are going to come up. Gone through the battery cars, the scope of mechanical engineering will be decreased. So yeah, Nivedita, I understand your question. There might be a slight thing, but it is not going to be a complete decrease. Okay, so for electrical, definitely there is going to be a more opportunities, but for other departments in the automotive, it's still going to continue. It is not going to reduce.
So thank you for your answer, sir.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ganesh, sir.
Sir,
Sir, continue with the session, sir.
sir, thank you, sir. Krishna Kumar, sir.
Thank you. Yes. So hope it was clear, and I think this 1 hour of interaction with me was useful.
Krishna Kumar, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Is it audible?
Sir, thank you, sir. Sir, it's audible, sir. Sir, thank you, sir. So one more question from student end, sir. Sir, is there any special tools needed for to join us for electrical engineer, sir? Is there any special course or extra value added course need to study, like electrical AutoCAD?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, right, based on your interest, if your interest is towards design, you can probably go through the automotive CAD tools. Okay. So I mentioned in my slides also, there are like many Unigraphics, CATIA, different OEMs use different tools. Okay. So that is where the challenge. We cannot forecast we are going to work for this company and do it, right? But as a basic, you can choose any tool. You can go to a training. I think like few CAD centers have been available, and especially for electrical, you can have a knowledge on routing. So if how the wires are need to be routed for the vehicle. Okay, so those kind of trainings would be useful for your preparation. Even if not going for a special classes, if you have this knowledge and if you are spending some time in understanding, you can do wonders during your interview. And many YouTube videos are available about how a car has been assembled. So those kind of things, when you look into it, you will see how the car is being manufactured and how the assembly plant is. And many of the things are like technology. They have been using robots to manufacture and assemble a vehicle. So those are like interesting things. You can go through it.
Okay, sir. Thank you for your valuable time with us, sir. I think our students have got new dimensions towards the role of electrical engineers in the automobile field, sir.
I would be happy
It's
if that has been
very
communicated well.
pleasant
Yeah.
to. First of all, I thank the Almighty for. Okay. Okay, so first of all, I want to thank the Almighty for allowing us to conduct this grand webinar in a success manner. And I also thank my college managements, principals, vice principals, and our department HODs and other department HODs for supporting throughout these webinars, and our faculty, teaching and non-teaching members for conducting this webinar in a grand success manner, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you for your valuable time, and thank you for on behalf of our students, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you all from my end, and thanks for the management for providing this opportunity. And it was a good interaction with all the students. Getting back to my college memories, thank you. And feel free for any questions. You can communicate through the management, and I'll be always try to support you for this any kind of clarification. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So I can leave, right? Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, Uday Kumar, sir.
Sir, Ganesh, sir.
Sir, close பண்ணிடலாம்ல, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.